Hello, beautiful people. So this is even great because I haven't actually recorded like using my Bluetooth speaker. For some reason, I thought it was going to distort the quality, but it's not, which is great because, yeah, I don't have my other one on me all the time. So I feel like I'm having sometimes audio quality, like on the constant, some sort of something. Again, I thought I was more tech savvy, people. Okay, so this is funny. I had to jump on here because there's lots of involvement in basically being ourselves, right? And speaking up and talking shit and whatever. And maybe for fear of us talking shit because we're going to offend somebody or whatever, right? So I guess this show would be, I mean, really, it's all about keeping it 100 on both ends. So basically, my broker, ever since I actually met him, I think he basically is a people pleaser, but he, which is, can be a good thing, of course. I'm going to make people happy, you're trying to make a sale, those different things, right? And so I think he adapts himself to basically whoever he's talking to, but because probably his clients and who he's been dealing with forever, maybe I don't know to say that they were jerks, but they weren't people, or very rarely has he met somebody like me who's like genuinely honest and all that sort of stuff. And I say that because of the way that he would talk to me. I also think he comes from a mindset of like judging, like based on appearance or something like that. He has assumed people have a certain level of money. So to be even thinking about looking at $1 million houses, which is almost seems like that's the typical here in Sacramento now, when you're out there, people. But I will not get in sidetracked talking about that. So what cracks my shit up is that even when I first kind of met him, I was like, buddy, like keep it 100. Don't be fake, just be real. Because I could tell in the way that he's talking. This is a grown man, right? He's probably like, if not, he's probably in his early 50s and cool guy. Okay, so I was talking to him like that, and I think that he liked it, but he was surprised about it, right? I just like to not only keep it real with people, like don't there's a certain level of professionalism. I the same have to do the same thing with my clients, right? Facials, coaching, whatever it is. I get it. But you can definitely still be yourself in there. And so I had from the beginning always talked to him like that. You know what I mean? Like keep it real, whatever, whatever. And now at this point, this is working with him the second time around. I still feel like I gotta keep doing that shit, but also being like, at the same time, like, dude, quit being fake. Like, I really want to like say that to him, and he just laughs. I have said that to him actually. Like, keep it 100, keep it 100, buddy. Just be real, and or give it to me direct. And yeah, certain things that he has said, even if it's been like, Nora, you're a really like nice person, and so I know you think a lot, and whatever it is, and sometimes I get annoyed, right? Because I'm like, I understand you probably think you read people really well. And that was very accurate in what you said, but it wasn't appropriate to like the context of what we were talking about, which is why I get annoyed, right? So he probably thinks that's funny too. Like, here's this nice girl, like, get being super assertive and direct and kind of sounding like a bitch because, my tone changes. But anyway, this is really what I wanted to say is that there takes a certain well, there takes time, but a certain level of experience and not having fear to talk to people a certain way because they also have the option of not dealing with you. So that's why when I first meet anybody, I kind of a little bit explain, just a little bit, depending on how I have, deal with them, like of who I am, which is basically I was talking about the going to the doctors, right? And me interviewing them and being like, this is what it is. I come from a holistic background. I'm going to question and it's not like I'm trying to discredit or disprove anything of what you're saying. I'm just saying that this is the type of person that I am. So if I ask questions, this is why. And this, again, people, is going back to not just going with popular culture, pop thought, if you want to call it that, popular thinking. And it is thinking for yourself. But sometimes this can take a very long time I think that's the part I'd like to add to this conversation today, other than me of making a joke and mockery of my relationship with this dude. But it happens with other people too. And so I think you eliminate a lot of things when you are just yourself and don't worry about impressing, or if you're worried about offending, there's different ways to speak, you know? And again, I taught myself in certain ways. I was always a polite person. I just never knew how to tactfully, I guess, choose my words is the best way to put it. And people that are older out there that have learned from experience, sometimes we have to say things in ways and learn that way, right? Like, oh, I shouldn't have said it like that or whatever it is. But it depends on for you, how much concern that you have again about offending somebody or causing a defensiveness. But just always sharing and being yourself and just being like, I feel like this, or maybe I misunderstood you, and always taking some sort of accountability on your end when you're approaching somebody about, you know, anything. So that's about it for now. I'm trying to learn to cut myself off when's needed, because I think these little clips can be good enough, right? Like, why couldn't I just jump on here and say the funny story and get off? Because get off. Stupid. I'm so immature like that. There's always a sexual reference to like some sort of wording, and I kind of get that. I think I got that from my stepdad. Not that he was always like vulgar and stuff around me. He was always just swearing and just saying whatever and funny shit. So, like, from the beginning, he's always kind of embraced my masculine side, that tomboyish of just saying whatever. Okay, so I usually, why couldn't I say something funny and just get off the line, get off the show? But there's always something more. And like I said before, there might be a different perspective that I didn't have last time or whatever it is. But the lesson here, people, is always keep it 100. Always be yourself. And if people aren't going to accept you, including dealing with a service provider, then fuck them, as we would say, right? But again, that's a process to have that. Some people don't have a problem with this at all, right? Especially with my husband, he's always been like, who the fuck cares what anybody else thinks? But when you're, again, growing up under the authoritarian model, there's just a certain way that's been ingrained in us. Okay, so taking things not personally and to heart, and just like running with ideas and just caring what people think, when you think about it in the end, who is this person that you care so much about, offending, or what they think, or whatever? It's almost like if we were taught in life that, you're going to be born into a world and there's going to be all these motherfuckers out there called humans, and they are going to say a bunch of mess, a bunch of bullshit, and you need to say fuck them to yourself every time, brush it off, like in the verbal judo book that says, when spear, something like, when spear thrown at head, move head. Like, it's something like that, and I love it because it is true. Why give a fuck? It's so dumb. It's like I had to learn almost my half of my life, and I'm like, I get it. I get it now. If they don't like me, or they don't, what's the word? It might not even be that they don't like you, they don't like your approach. I mean, I guess, though, again, not only who gives a fuck, but like, it doesn't matter in the end. If you care about the person, that's different. But some random stranger or whatever it is, and I like my broker guy, right? But if we were not a personality match, we would have found out way in the beginning. And I think that that's what the difference is. is that because I've become such a shit talker, but like I'm genuinely, a good and honest person, a lot of that a lot of that stuff just I look at it as comedy. Sometimes though, I'll just warn them. But usually when you throw out the F bomb, usually when you say fuck in a first conversation, that's kind of a clue that maybe yeah, you are not so shy in expressing yourself. And back in the day, talking like that could be offensive, especially specifically, I'm going to say, to Christians, because I affiliate that with the whole thing like that, like, oh my, oh, oh, we don't swear in this household, or that is not appropriate, or that's sinning. It's like it was just, or maybe people were worried about it sounding like, oh, when you swear, you're like a certain type of person, you know? So, a very brief little thing on something that could open another can of worms. So, I want to share that with you all today, folks, and more stuff later, okay? It's fun for me. Talk to you next time. Bye.